Hello again, everyone. My name is James Shotwell. This is the Music Biz channel, and today we're going to talk about Instagram, specifically how to build your following and better engage with your audience. Now let's be honest with one another for a second. You know that this video is not going to get you 10,000 fans overnight, and I know that I don't have that kind of information to give you. So let's both agree that we know going in that this video is going to be a lot of practical advice that will help you get ahead. 8 tips to be specific. 8 tips that will help you get ahead. But no, there is no cheat code. But that's okay, because nothing good ever happens overnight. You've got to earn it, and I'm going to help you get there. Now, the first thing that we need to address is your Instagram bio. Yes, your bio. I know that Instagram is about pictures and videos, but we're talking about the bio right now. It all comes down to first impressions. Studies have shown that it takes a person less than 7 seconds to come up with a first impression of you. And that means in 7 seconds or less, they know how they feel, if they want to follow you, if they want to continue looking at your content, or if they want to move on and forget you've ever existed. So make sure that your bio makes a good impression. Tell people who you are, what you're doing, and what they can expect from this page, aka help them understand whether or not they're part of your target audience. I mean, if you're a metal band, say that. If you're a pop punk band, say that. Tell people what it is that you're doing so that they know whether or not to continue looking, because if they can't figure it out, they're just going to move on. The next thing that we need to discuss is post consistency. Now, when I talk to a lot of musicians and I say, what are you doing with your presence on Instagram? They'll tell me that they update their stories every single day and they post in their main feed whenever they have an announcement. Well, I think that that is a 50-50 approach. 50% is really good, and that is the stories part. Updating your stories every single day, absolutely a great idea. It's the most used part of Instagram. But the main feed area, that needs some work. You need to be posting more regularly. And I know you might not know what to post just yet, but consistency matters in these matters. I know that's a weird way of saying it, but it's true. You need to be posting, let's say 2 times a week. Well, why not post at the same time every single week? Like every Tuesday and Thursday at 2 o'clock, or every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at noon, whatever it happens to be. Make some sense of consistency so that your fans know to keep looking for that content. Also, when something new is happening, your fans know that they can expect it on one of those days, because that's when you post. And all of a sudden, people start to kind of know when to look for announcements. They know where to go for the latest official news, and they'll know when to go there once you start building up that routine. And that will help them find your content, engage with it, which will ultimately make the algorithm push it out further, and everybody wins. Next, I want to ask you a question that I ask every artist who talks to me about social media, and that is, are you using Instagram Reels? Now, I know it's basically a knockoff of TikTok, but it has a lot of value. Instagram is putting a lot of emphasis on the Reels feature right now, and everyone that's using it is seeing that their content is getting exposed to a ton of new people, and I'll tell you why. The Instagram algorithm is putting a little bit of preferential treatment on the Reels community right now, especially if you're new to it. So if you haven't started yet, make your first Reel and watch those numbers roll in. Almost every one of your followers will see that Reel appear in their Explore page. And if just a small amount of them watch it, it's going to get spread out to even more people. And the reach of these posts vastly surpasses what happens to main feed posts and stories once they move over to the Explore page. The competition is just too high. But Reels, the field is wide open. So if you're not doing stuff there already, get on it. Next, I know that we all think about Instagram as photos and videos, but none of that really matters for most people unless you can nail the caption. Now, I know that some of you may think that image is everything and that's what you're trying to sell on the platform. That's true, but what about when you need to sell concert tickets or get people to pre-order the album? Or maybe you've decided that you want to do a stylistic change and you want to explain to your fans what's happening, or maybe a member leaves, or one of a billion other situations that could play out. Well, that's where captions come into play. And the people that are really excelling on Instagram have built up amazing caption games. And what I mean by that is that they know how to talk to their followers and strangers. They do this in a multiple step process. There are lots of guides out there, but I really want to reiterate how useful the caption portion is of any Instagram post. This is where you can share a little bit about yourself, answer any questions fans may have, and of course, add a call to action. Give them something to do. You think this photo from behind the scenes of our new video is so cool? Go check out the video. You want to see us on tour this fall? Go buy those tickets. It's not about just saying ticket link here. It's about learning how to sell what it is that you're making. Because just because you're making music and just because you're playing gigs doesn't necessarily make somebody want those things. You have to learn how to sell them. You have to learn how to sell yourself. And becoming better at your caption game is a great way to do that. There are lots of free guides. I'll try to link one in the description below that gives you some captions that you can use to start to try to convert people into fans and into followers and into consumers of the stuff that you make. But at the end of the day, this is something that you need to work on yourself. Figure out how to communicate with your audience. I mean, they're already interested. You couldn't ask for a better little niche market to go towards. These are people who have said, I want to know more about your music. I want to know what you have going on. So learn how to talk to them. Learn how to engage with them. Learn what they want to know. Tell them that, and then get them to do the things that you need them to do to further your career. The next thing we need to talk about is a little bit weird. Not because of the thing itself, but because of how rarely it's utilized in music marketing. I think other genres may do it better, specifically hip hop and pop music, but rock, metal, folk, so on and so forth, they're so bad at this and it makes absolutely no sense. Creators, why are you not partnering with like-minded brands or, and possibly far more accessible for many of you, like-minded creators, whether that be musicians, whether that be fans, whether that be people that make art and set it to music, whatever it happens to be. Everything on social media is built around the concept of communities. And whether or not you agree that that's what they ultimately become, that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to help you find like-minded people so that you can share things that you both like and create and lift each other up. That's the goal, at least, that corporations sell us. So with that in mind, why aren't you partnering with more people? Why aren't you posting the art your fans send you and tagging them in it, putting it in your main feed so that people can see what the people in your community are capable of doing? Why aren't you partnering with other local groups to do collabs and crossovers or play gigs together or promote on one another's pages? Why aren't you sharing clips of your best friend's band's video in your story feed and having them do the same for you? Where is that camaraderie? Where is that sense of community? The thing that makes the underground music scene so great, it makes the rock and metal communities so strong, even when the popularity of the genre itself starts to wane, is the interconnectivity of it all, that people feel close to one another. They're part of something bigger than themselves. And we need to be extending that to the idea of Instagram and Twitter and all the other platforms. Collaborate. Reach out to your fans. Work with them. Teach them how to play your songs. Share videos of them playing your songs. Ask them for fan art. Share their fan art. If somebody gives you something that's really cool, share it. And why not surprise some of your fans? Maybe you put a post on your stories that ask people to give you their address so that you can send them a postcard, and you write all those fans postcards and ask them to share it on their Instagram feed and tag you along the way. That's a lot of extra exposure, that's a lot of engagement, that's a really fun thing that people will never forget that you did. But it's all about that collaboration. It's all about working with other people and finding ways to lift one another up. Just because you have a profile page and you have a main feed doesn't mean that you are in this alone and that you are an island amongst a sea of endless islands. You can work with other people, you can build something bigger than yourself, and you should. Speaking of collaboration and engagement, one thing that not enough artists is doing is replying to every single post on their Instagram page. Now, obviously, if you reach the level of some of these big festival headliners, replying to the thousands and thousands of people that comment on every single post is just not going to be possible. But right now, when you're trying to get to that 10,000 mark or the 20,000 mark, when you're getting 100 comments or less on every one of your posts, why not start replying? Reply to every single person, at least like their comments. Let them know that you see what they're doing. And every couple of days, check your DMs and check your requested DMs. Yes, there are 2 different folders in there. Go through, weed out anyone that's a creep or trying to scam you with something, and reply to everybody else. Even if it's just a no or a thank you or just a heart emoji in response, let every single person know that you see every message that they send and that you appreciate it. Now, you don't have to say that outright, but just that engagement is going to make fans like you more. It's going to make them feel like they're closer to you on a person-to-person level, and that will make them promote your music. And I know that that may sound crazy, but think about it. I love a lot of big rock bands that I've never met. I love the Foo Fighters to death. I love Dave Grohl. I think he's really cool, and I'll happily go to any of their shows. But there are lots of bands that if I DM them on Instagram and they write me back, I will suddenly think that I am part of that family. I'm part of the extended family of that band. I will tell all my friends how cool they are, that they're just normal people, that we get along. I might even try to brag and say that they're my friend because they reply to my DMs. It makes me feel special. It makes me care about their success in a way that I don't care about the Foo Fighters. I don't feel like I'm ingrained in the journey of their success. I'm just a person on the outside looking in at how cool they are. But you as an up-and-coming musician, you can forge a much deeper, more meaningful, more beneficial relationship with your listeners if you just engage with them. And I know that that sounds simple, but look at almost any group's Instagram presence where they're getting comments, and you'll see lots of people just shouting into the void and nobody's replying. And honestly, it's kind of sad. If all of this is failing and it's not working out for you, but you do have a business account for Instagram, look at your analytics. I mean, I would hope that if you clicked on this video, you've already looked at your analytics and you are at a loss as to what to do next. But if you haven't, or if you didn't know, if you don't even know if you have analytics, look into it, because Instagram will give you insight into your account that may change your entire promotional model. Instagram can tell you when your fans are online, when your posts are getting the most engagement, what types of posts are getting the best engagement, and you can build your content offerings out from there. Because if you have that information available to you and you're ignoring it, then you're just blindfolding yourself and throwing money into the void. It's a terrible approach to marketing. Look at the data and respond to it. It's not that complicated. And one last thing, and I can't even believe that I have to say this right now. I can't even believe that after all 7 other steps, we get to the 8th step, and this is the one I have to say, but I saw it this morning, and I have to say it here now. Put links to your Instagram in other places. And I know that that's very straightforward, but again, it happened today. I went to a band's website and to their Bandcamp page and to their Facebook page. Never found a link to their Instagram. Go to their Instagram, lo and behold, it has less followers, less activity, less everything in comparison to their other social channels. Maybe it's because they're not promoting it, maybe it's because they don't know what to do with it, but it's very frustrating because most people have a preferred social media platform, and generally speaking, it's either Twitter or Instagram. So at least promote those two everywhere that you promote yourself online, on your website, in your newsletter, on your Bandcamp page, on your Spotify profile, on your Twitter profile, wherever you can shove a link, make sure that you're linking to it, because otherwise you're not really building a community, and then what's the point? So do it, link your page, come on. All right, so that's another 8 tips on what to do with your Instagram account. And yes, some of them are incredibly obvious, but doing the basic steps is how you get great. That's how you learn how to do this really well. And if you can nail engaging with your fans, writing good captions, being consistent in your posting, and trying out all the new bells and whistles as they're unveiled, well then you can pretty much dominate Instagram, at least in your niche of the music industry. You can do incredibly well with it. It's going to take time. There are definitely no shortcuts, but you can get there, and I'll be here every step of the way helping you as best I am able. But if you want even more advice on the industry and Instagram, including what to do with Reels as a musician, well, that's why Music Biz exists. We have videos on all of those topics and so much more, and we have even more content on the way soon. So if you haven't done so already, go ahead and click the subscribe button down below. And if you have, thank you so much for watching. I'll be back very soon, and until then, do me a favor, take care of yourself, because you deserve it.